What's up everybody, hope you're all doing great. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital and to this new video in which we're analyzing Optimism. A quick update this is because we covered it I think 2 days ago, and I like to cover Optimism a little bit. I know a lot of people invested in it. Oh, we have a market cap now. Wow, that's new. And a circulating supply. There's no max supply. All right. Circulating supply and the total supply, that's actually, is this right? Like, does that mean that means that there's a very low percentage in circulation, right? That's not that great, but the market cap is actually relatively low. I expect Optimism to in the future reach at least the 1 billion market cap. But if we have a lot of inflation, that doesn't mean anything to the price. But yeah, I know a lot of people who bought Optimism. It was very trending at launch. So I wanted to do a quick update on it. Now I'm covering this like every other day, which I think it deserves. Today, before going into the analysis, you must realize that we have inflation rate numbers coming up for the United States at least. Those will move the markets, and generally if the inflation rate is higher than expected, market will move down. If it's lower than expected, market will move up. So realize that, and realize that if the numbers really are way different than the consensus, this analysis will probably not be valid because the fundamentals are always stronger than the technicals. But let's get right into it. So Optimism, what we said last analysis, and you can see the general market structure which we talked about. What we said in the last analysis is that we would probably see something like this. So that we would drop down to the 75-cent 70 level, which we did. That was quite an accurate analysis, I think. But yeah, today I wanted to do an update because from that point, and we kind of expected that, because 75 cents is a psychological support level. It's and therefore usually in moves like these that prices of specific cryptos reach levels they've never seen before, psychological levels actually tend to hold pretty well. So for example, 0.75, 0.5, 0.25, those levels tend to hold pretty well. And we also saw that right here. I mean, we actually got almost, I mean, the 6th of June, we also got quite some support off of 1.2. But apart from this, this actually looks the most powerful like small recovery Optimism has had, and we've actually reached that 50 EMA again. And at 50 EMA again, you can see that pushed us down for quite a long time. We've broken above that for a couple of times, but every time we did that, the resistance level above that held us back. So the resistance level above that right now is this 95-cent level. We have broken above that 50 EMA briefly, but we're still struggling with that level. So that's the main level to break. I think for now Optimism is going to drop down to this level here between 85 cents and 83 cents. Here you got a, as you can see, got quite a strong support level right here, which I do think is going to hold at least for the short term, because from there I expect us to have one more chance to break this. And there the news comes into play as well, because if the inflation is actually lower than expected, that could actually mean that we're breaking 95 cents. And once we do that, I think we can easily get up to 1.05. We're not there yet then, because 1.05 is again a very strong resistance level, so we probably reject off of that. But then at least you have broken above 95 cents again and broken above $1, and you can actually try to think about a consolidation somewhere in this range, somewhere on top of 75 cents, which I would consider a consolidation for Optimism right now as quite bullish, even though it's obviously neutral price movement. I would consider it as bullish, because you can just see, I mean, this market structure, it needs a moment, and it needs a moment to get some sort of a bullish breakout and stop. Otherwise we're going to drop down further and further, which is bad for all people around it, I think. So something like this I would already consider bullish, and I think we got a pretty big chance off of that. Even if, for example, even if those inflation rate numbers weren't coming out, I still believe that something like this was actually quite realistic, and this would be my bias, that something like this was going to happen. But due to those inflation rates, you also still have the danger that if they're higher than expected, that Optimism is just going to drop down to 70 and 75 cents again. As I said, fundamentals are stronger than technicals. So even though I think the price and Optimism is actually showing some power, some strength, that doesn't mean anything if the fundamentals are not correct. So please be careful with that. Keep an eye out for that. But for now, that's basically my analysis on Optimism, or the OP coin. So if you do have any questions about that, please let me know down in the comments. If you found this video valuable or you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps me a lot. And for now, thank you all for watching and listening, and I hope to see you all in my next videos. Bye.